So what do you got going on today? Glad you joined in. Glad you tuned in. Brain Laundry Podcast. This is Kendall Hitless, the host. If you're new here, you can go ahead and see what we're about. Visit the website, brainlaundrypodcast.com. And any questions that you have about entrepreneurship or business or any questions about this show, you can hit me up and send those questions on that website or on Instagram at Brain Laundry Podcast, and we will get to those. So anybody looking to improve their entrepreneur journey and grow their business, learn tips on business and entrepreneurship, this is the podcast for you, so stay tuned. Today is all about busy versus productivity, because I've been getting a lot of questions about what to do, what to focus on, and not getting anything done, but you seem to be overwhelmed by a bunch of work and you just don't have time to do things. Well, I've been there and I know how difficult it is, so I'm going to share with you what I finally learned after probably about 2 to 3 years of being right there where you're at. So, I'm no stranger to that, and I still find myself in that circle of busy and not being productive and efficient with my time. But I always snap out of it, and we're going to get you out of that right now. And stay tuned. And any of these notes are going to be on the website too. You just go to the blog and you can check over some of these. I'm not going to detail it like I am in this episode, but they will be there for you to view if you forgot one of the tips. But busy versus productivity, what is that? Well, you ever seen somebody, maybe you have somebody in your family and you hate to see them like this, but they're always busy, but they're always struggling too. Their income has not gotten any better. They're in the same position they've always been, and nothing's improving with their life, but they're always busy. They're always got something to do, but nothing significantly is changing in their life. So let's share some reminders on this, maybe some differences between busy and being productive. First things first, you should have some goals set. You got to have your goals set. And everything you do on your day-to-day should be getting you to those goals. So, whereas busy people have many priorities to do, productive people only have a few priorities, but they are big goals that we're stepping towards every day. So, busy people have many priorities. Productive people have a few set priorities that we are trying to work towards every day of our life. Busy people say yes to everything fast. Productive people say yes slowly, and sometimes we say no. We say no to it if it does not get us to our destination that we have set for our lives. Busy people focus on action. Productive people focus on gaining what's my favorite word? If you listen to this podcast, what do I love to have? What do I gotta have? Clarity. Productive people focus on having clarity before action. That means you know exactly what you're doing, why you're doing it, and who you're doing it for, when you're doing it, everything. You have a full on clear vision of what it is that you're doing, why you're doing it, and how it's getting you to your goal. You should know that. If you're productive, that is what we do as productive entrepreneurs. Another thing is, busy people talk about how busy they are. And comment down below if you know somebody like this. They're always telling you how busy they are, but nothing's ever really changing in their life. Their life doesn't look that much better, does it? They're still driving the same cars, and usually they're in a horrible, terrible mood to us. And we are, when we're busy, in a normally terrible mood. And I got to get you out that mood. That's why we're going to give tips in this. I'm going to tell you how to get out of this slump, but I want to make sure that you're clear on that. So if you know somebody like this, or if you ever get like this, comment down below. Let me know. Let me know if you're busy all the time and you tell people you're busy all the time, or you got that one person. Let me know in the comments, wherever you are viewing this on. because I think we all can relate to that. You know, I think everyone can relate to that. And you know, it's not a good life to live like that because, like I said, it does have a bad effect on our attitudes, and we're not really in our right state of mind. And as an entrepreneur, business owner, whatever you want to call yourself, you need to be in a calm, creative mindset so you understand what it is that you're doing. You're communicating clearly, and you're thinking of ideas for your business clearly and creatively, and at the top level that you're able to do so. You can't do that if you're always in an angry mood because you're so busy. So we got to stop that. And I'm glad that you asked me the questions because I didn't know. You know, that's why you ask questions. If you're dealing with something, I can't tell if you are. That's why it's very important to get these questions because I don't know exactly what everyone's going through. So if you send me the questions, I know what you're going through, and I'm going to tell you what I did to help the. And you know, see, I started off as a freelancer. If you didn't know, I started off freelancing, and I started making traction with that. Before I knew it, I was so busy that I had to either A, cut back on clients, or B, hire a freelancer to work with me. And then that's what I did, you know. I hired a freelancer to do some of my freelancing gigs and took it off from there. And that's a lot of what can help you be productive is outsourcing, which we'll get into. So let's go over the tips to be productive and not just busy and going nowhere, just sitting stagnant. So the first thing to start implementing is setting time blocks for yourself, for your business, for whatever it is you're doing. You can look at download yourself a Pomodoro app. They're all good. And it's just a mini block of a time that you have scheduled throughout your day. I like to use 30-minute intervals with 5-minute breaks. Lately, that's what's been working for me. But during each block that you have set, you focus on one specific task and ignore everything else. And it allows for you to have maximum efficiency on what it is that you're working on. So you're creating it at the highest level that you're able to. You're not focused on nothing else. You're not jumping around. You've committed yourself to focusing on one task. Now, if you get done with that task before the time interval's up, go on to the next thing. And then when it's up, you know, you take your little break and start back on the task where you left off at. But creating time blocks is very, very helpful in being productive. And you're not just sitting there jumping around from thing to thing. Next thing you can do is tell a trusted close friend and create some type of accountability where somebody holds you accountable for what it is that you're supposed to be doing. You could do a friendly bet and bet money, or just talk shit to each other. Just think about sharing it with a good friend or somebody that you love and trust, that you don't mind sharing that information with. And accountability can be very, very, it's crazy how much accountability can have a positive effect on us. So maybe tell a friend and have somebody be accountable, and you be accountable for them as well, and make it some type of, you know, 2-man mastermind group, or however you want to create it. But accountability can be key to being productive. The next thing is cut out distractions. Now, this is a lie. I don't think you can do that. I haven't found a way to do that. It's like the ghost of piss me the fuck off always follows me. Somebody's always making some noise. Somebody's always being annoying. Somebody just always low-key they want one of them ass whippings, you know? But we gotta stay cool and calm and collective, because we can't get mad. So I have interpreted this as prepare to be distracted. Distract yourself from your distractions. So noise canceling headphones, white noise machines, whatever you got to do, be prepared for those distractions and be prepared to cut them out, block them out. Cell phone, now that's something that you bring as a distraction. Cut that cell phone off, put it in another room. I always do that most of the time. Sometimes I'll be caught slipping, but even if I am, I don't get on the cell phone. I'm very proud of myself. I'm never on my cell phone, hardly ever. So I'm encouraging everyone to do the same. Kind of cut the cell phone off, and the more you start to do it, once you get away from that phone and it's a month or two, it starts to become a habit and something that you need less. So get away from the cell phone. Don't get on any distracting websites. Set yourself up for success, not failure, and be productive towards your goals. Next thing you need to do is obviously learn to say no. Kind of like mentioned in the first half, say no to things that take you away to meeting your goals. Only allow yourself the time to do the tasks that help you meet your goals. That means saying no to some people, some clients, or new projects or something, but you have to do what you have to do because you set those goals for a reason, and that reason is solid. If you set the goals right, it should be true to who you are, and you have a solid core why and reason to having those goals. So those should outshine anything else that can occur in life. So sometimes you have to say no to certain things that pop up, but it's all good because that's the right thing to do. Even though you may feel bad, it is the right thing to do because it's getting you towards your main goals. So say no when things are veering you away from that road to your goals, the road to productivity. Say no to those tasks. You need to obviously, for the next tip is, I hope you're doing this. Even if you're busy right now, I hope you're doing this, my friend, because I don't know how far you're going to get if you don't. Let's make yourself a daily list or weekly and then pull tasks from it. I've talked about my productivity, the best method I've ever found, and it's still working out great, guys. And I have gotten several messages from you as well saying the same thing, so that you have enjoyed the routine that I use for productivity, my weekly routine, my planning routine. So I'm glad that helped, and I'm glad it helped too. I'm glad it helped me. I'm glad it helped you. That's what I shared it for. So very powerful. If you haven't checked that episode out, it's not long. It's under 20 minutes, I believe, and you can check out my productivity schedule and how I do that. It will make a tremendous. It made a tremendous difference in my life, and multiple people that have messaged me saying so, that they enjoy that, and that's the best routine that they have tried. So check that episode out and try it possibly if you are struggling in that area. But have yourself a routine that is set up for your getting you to your goals, your main goals. Delegate tasks. This is the next tip. Delegate tasks that pull against your strengths. So anything that you're not strong at, that is just eating up time, that you need to be working on somewhere else, hire somebody to do that task. Delegate anything that takes up tremendous amounts of time and creates a bad feeling, a big amount of stress in your life. Go ahead and hire somebody and outsource that immediately, right now. And if you're enjoying this so far, go ahead and drop down that like and share this with somebody else who's going through the same thing as we are. Being busy and just they're trying to do those things that are efficient so they can be productive and cut back on all these unnecessary tasks. If you know anybody like that, you got to share it with them so they can learn this too, and it can help benefit their life, because these are some helpful tips that you can share these tips as well to help somebody else out, and that's very powerful. We want to get everybody on the right track. I don't want to see nobody struggling. I know you don't want to see nobody struggling. We want to help everybody. So if anybody is going through some times as far as having difficulty being productive, share this podcast with them and tell them to check this episode out in particular. And go ahead and throw that like if you're enjoying this so far, and if you're ready to start being productive and cut back on some of these unnecessary things. The next tip is create some time to do the things that you love and to spend time doing your hobbies. So I like to box. I've been into boxing and doing some martial arts lately. I take time every day, at least an hour and a half, to go train and practice on that a little bit. If I didn't, and that's kind of a 2-in-1. That's exercise and hobby. So I'd even go out to say, do something where you exercise every day. Even if you just do a 20-minute little home workout and do some push-ups and crunches or whatever you can do. Do a little exercising and also spend time doing something that you love and have fun doing every day. Very, very powerful to keeping you motivated. Another thing you can do is, if you have any projects coming up, have them organized and plan on your task list. There's a KISS principle. Keep it simple, stupid. That's what they call it. And make sure that you add any tasks that you have that are not a weekly norm on there. At least try to do it at least a month ahead of time, if not earlier, so you know that it's coming up and you're able to plan for it, prepare yourself for it, prepare your business for it, your team, your day, your week, and it's not coming up as a shock for you. And now, one of my personal biggies right here is make sure that your work environment and your work area, your desk, is clean and organized and set up. Man, you know how shitty it feels when you're looking for something. Where's that SD card? Where's that USB drive? Where's my SSD? You're looking for something. You don't know where it's at. You get up, you're pissed off. It's nowhere to be found. You come back to your desk, you sit down, and you find it. As soon as you sit back down, it's right in front of your face, underneath a bunch of papers, underneath some folders. We gotta make sure our work environment's clean and organized. Make sure, how I do it, I make sure at the beginning of my day, I make sure that it's organized, because before I leave every day, I clean it up. So when I get there, it's clean. In the afternoon, when I take a lunch, when I go get something to eat, I clean up my office area every day. And then when I leave, I clean it up. So it's always clean pretty much for the most part. But especially when you got a lot of projects going on and you're printing out a bunch of information, it can get very dirty. So just make sure you always keep it tidy as possible and clean. And have you a routine the way you are cleaning up your environment at least every day, at least one time a day. Try to do it 2 to 3 though. It does pay off and save time in the end, and we all know that. So, another thing you can implement: be productive, not just busy. Not just running around like a chicken with his head cut off. Have yourself a weekly power list, which is how I create my weekly to-do list. So, at the beginning, before you start your week on a Sunday, write down everything that you need to do for that week. Have it written down, and then you can schedule it for the day that you find best suiting to do those tasks. So say you got to create 2 YouTube videos, and you got to edit it, and then you got to do some work on your website. You may record the videos on Tuesday, edit them on Wednesday, work on your website Thursday. Friday, you do a little networking and marketing and catch-up day. Always have yourself a catch-up day too, if possible. but create yourself a weekly list with the things that are most powerful to getting you to that goal. Do those tasks, make sure they get done, and schedule them so they get done in an efficient manner every single week. And you're not like, oh shit, this thing's due. I forgot. I got a day to do it. It usually takes 3 weeks to do it. What am I gonna do? You don't get in that situation. You prepare for it. You got it written down, and you implement, apply straight efficient action and get it done with no problem. That's how we do it over here. We're bosses, baby. And now, let me give you, this is the last tip. Slow down and refocus if needed throughout the day. When you recognize that you got all these things going on, sometimes when you step away, focus on your breath or take a walk. I like to take a walk around my neighborhood sometimes, or my office, whatever, wherever you're at. And I'm gonna give a bonus tip as well after this, but get away for a little bit. And it's never not happened like this. When I go and take a little walk, I pull that cell phone out and I am writing down notes for whatever area of my business I was working on. That's how it always is. I get that head clear and I'm already ready to get back in there to work when I'm halfway around the block. And I'm like, okay, well, I need to run and get back, So you're getting that exercise. It's just a positive system to create for yourself and have. And then my bonus tip that I just thought of off the top of my head was change up your environments if needed. If you're doing something and you're just like, kind of like, you got that feeling in your stomach like I get sometimes. I don't know if you get it, but you're just like, I don't give a bleep that. I don't care what this says. I'm ready to go. I don't care. You're kind of skipping over it. You're sloppy. You're being sloppy with it. A lot of the times that can be stopped just by hitting sleep on the laptop, save your work, go to like a coffee shop or a friend's house or somewhere different, the park, the library, and work somewhere else. Get a new scene and get a new feel for the environment around you, and just get some new scenery and then start working somewhere else. That helps me out very much, and I got to do it at least every other day. It seems like I'm changing up my environment, whether I'm going to I like to go to my grandparents' house because it's usually very calm over there, or sometimes I hit the park or the library up, and I'll go over there and work and get some new scenery. And it's also good for opening up different areas of creativity in the mind. So take action on that for sure, because I think that can help you with being more creative too, if that is a necessity in your type of business that you have or anything that you're working on. It can help you, gain some more creative ideas just because you change where you're working at. You're not seeing the same old every single part of every single day. Try that out. Let me know what you think. But thank you so much for tuning in, and I'm wishing you much success. I know you're going to be successful. You're going to be successful, especially now that you can apply these tips and cut that busy shit out that we got going on, and be productive and efficient and get those key things done in a quality manner. And just be pushing out your best content in the best way. You're meeting all your quotas that you have set. You're going to start to see yourself crawl steadily towards those goals. I promise you that. It worked for me. It's worked for several people that I've given tips to and just shared tips to along the way. Just personal friends. They ask me for tips and stuff, and I'm like a preacher. My grandparents, they tell me, I always got something to say, something to share, and that is true. And I love to help people out, and I've helped people out with these goals, and I've seen them work. I've seen them work when they are applied, for sure. So, just want to end it right here. If you have not already, if you want to learn how to improve as an entrepreneur, create a successful business. And then Monday, we even talk personal development and mindset. If you are interested in learning that, please do not forget to subscribe and share this with anyone who also is like-minded as us, who is interested in creating a successful life for themselves and their family. Share this with them, subscribe. Thank you so much, and I will catch you on the next episode. Keep your head up, be good to yourself. I love you. Thank you for listening. Catch you on the next one.